Mrs. Moorhead has written a folk opera about African-American life in the early South, where youngsters under such oppressive poverty had to use their imagination and little else to create their own entertainment. One of the numbers in this folk opera is called Possum Strut. It's been worked on and polished by Mrs. Moorhead's students for some time. While in New York, in our studios, they performed it for us. This is a one-person operation. Why do it?
Well, it is, as my husband says, it's a mission. I feel that this is something I must do because in my teaching, excuse me, in my teaching in structured academia, let's say, I felt that our kids, as talented as they are not allowed to develop that talent. And I have a master's degree in music, in theory and composition, but our students generally are not given the opportunity to exploit their own natural talents. I found in colleges, even black colleges.
Mm-hmm.
I do, and I felt that I tried to teach the theory, college theory, to the gospel music rather than the German hymns.
Mm-hmm.
You see, because this is where our students are. They go to church every Sunday. They hear the gospel music, and so why not, teach them what a D7 is through the gospel music.
Is it a little sophisticated and difficult to teach?
It is not difficult at all.
No.
It is very, very easy to teach. And these children are young. They have been, I'll tell you this, these particular children have been in the Performing Arts Center at Snowell Institute since 1980 in some capacity, you see. So they have been in the preschool, some of them. They were doing jazz and that. We're doing jazz with 3-year-olds, let's face it.
Wow.
And so they have heard this music. They know exactly what Mrs. Moorhead is trying to do. And they take to it like a duck takes to water.
Mrs. Consuela Moorhead is involved in much more than a struggle to teach jazz to 20 or 30 youngsters. She's fighting to preserve the very best in African-American culture. Jazz, as it is called, represents the best-known cultural product of this nation. Yet, today's young people are given scant exposure to this music. Consuelo Moorhead is offering a remedy.
Our aim is to introduce these children to jazz, in contrast to the music they listen to all the time. We would like for them to know Duke Ellington. We would like for them to know them to be able to play his music. And these children are doing that. They're playing the music of the classical black composers, as I call them. So in that sense, I'm very, very pleased with their progress. We are interested in furthering, honoring, preserving the music of our people, that is, the black people, and making sure that these children realize that this is music of their four parents. We feel that this is very, very good for their self-esteem, and it's working out very well.
Mrs. Moorhead is also engaged in a struggle with the Board of Trustees that has assumed jurisdiction over the 1,000-plus acre Snow Hill property. The land is rich with timber, the sale of which, Mrs. Moorhead says, is the prime interest of the Board of Trustees. But the school gets little of the earnings from the sale of timber. Mrs. Moorhead says that despite publicly declared assets of over $500,000, the Board of Trustees gave only $1,300 to the school in 1986, nothing in 1987, and only $1,640 this year. Mrs. Moorhead, as the granddaughter of the school's founder, is fighting the board for jurisdiction over this land. Yet despite all of these obstacles, Mrs. Consuelo Moorhead has achieved wondrous things with her great commitment and talent.